My name's Jan, and I guess this is my story. It's not all of my story, but I'll get to the points. I've been a Christian for a very long time. I'm just approaching my 62nd year, and that in itself is a testimony to God, because quite frankly, I'm blessed to be here. A few years back, I had a very stressful job. My mother's lived with us. She lived with us all our married life until she died, and I used to come back from work stressed. My mother was ill, so I would be stressed. So when I was in the kitchen, I used to have maybe a glass of wine, and of course, you know, when that soothing thing comes, you think, okay, that's good. And then that glass of wine, to cut the short story a little bit shorter, became 2, became 3, became 4, became maybe something a bit stronger. And so it got to be the stage where I couldn't function, even first thing in the morning, without some alcohol. Well, obviously that takes its toll on your body. It took its toll on me. I wasn't coming to church at that time, and although I believed in God, I didn't believe in it in a deep way that I do now. So eventually, as I said, that became vodka in my coffee at work. So eventually I became ill, and I was ashamed of the fact that I was drinking, so I'd drink because I was ashamed. It's a vicious circle. Anyway, eventually I decided that life wasn't worth living anymore. I'd had enough. I wanted out. Stop the world, I want to get off. So I took all of my medication for depression that I obviously I'd got, with a bottle of brandy, and the next thing I knew, I woke up in hospital, and I said, why am I still alive? Why? Because I didn't want to be alive. Eventually I was transferred into Russell's Hall mental unit, and I spent quite a long time in there, because you have to detox completely. And I knew there was something more. There's got to be something more to this life than this. I love my mother, I love my husband, but things were just compounding up on my head. Everything was going wrong, and I was seeking at that time. I knew there was got to be something more to life than this. My niece Karen attended this church, and she brought me back to see her daughter give, it was at Christmas oddly enough, she read in Spanish from the Bible. And I sat at the back, I didn't want to come, and I saw 3 people who waved to me because I was on my way back home. I was going to go out, I didn't want to stay. And those people that waved to me, I believe the Lord sent them to wave to me to bring me back in. And I knew I'd come home, because Jesus reached out to me and he said, this is what I want for you. I don't want you to be like this. I'm going to set you free from this. So he broke that chain of addiction for me. And when I went to the doctors and had a blood test, he rang me, which is unusual, to tell me that my liver was perfect, my kidneys were perfect, I hadn't got anything wrong with my pancreas, anything wrong with my stomach. And it was like Jesus said to me, I've healed you of that. So I don't drink now. I haven't drunk for many years, and I give God all the glory for that, because I know I wouldn't be here today. I definitely wanted out. It wasn't a cry for help, I'd had enough. I took enough tablets to make sure that I didn't. But God had got a different idea for me. He wanted me to tell people that there's something better. He's better. And he calls me and he says, come, you are my child, you're precious to me. So if you're going through a situation similar to mine with depression, where you've hit that pit and you don't feel you're ever going to come out of that pit, remember Jesus is there. He's there in the storm. He's there wherever you are, and he holds me, and I give him all the glory and all the praise and all the honour, because day by day I have bad days. I'm not sort of laughing and joking all the time. I have days where I'm down, but all the time I know that the Lord is holding me and he says, you are my child. I will never leave you. I will never forsake you. And that's something, isn't it? That's something to live for. And that's what I know. I live for that. I live for the Lord. And he's helped me in so many situations that have gone wrong, because I don't work now, can't. In fact, I'm nearly a pensioner anyway. And that's something, isn't it? To say that I've come this far when I wanted out. At the age of 58, I'd had enough. God said, no, I've got more for you to do. So it's exciting, isn't it? To know that God's got something more for me. Just me, little me, who I thought was so insignificant that I couldn't relate to other people without alcohol in the system. Oh, I was the life and soul of the party then. But when the crash came, man, it was terrible. So, as I said, I give all the glory and all the praise to God. There's many more things I could tell you, but I think that's enough for now. Amen.
I'm lost without you, Father. I'm lost without